Hello everyone, I was just reading this news article about women in cybersecurity speak out at the RSA conference of 2019, but there's still a long way to go. So I'm going to talk about this with an actual woman, Miss Quids.
Hello.
So you're in academia in the tech industry, and I actually work in the cybersecurity.
Yes, so we have two different perspectives of the thing. So you're in industry, although you don't really call it industry, and I'm in academia. I work in a university. So
yes. And you're seeing the future cybersecurity analysts as well as other fields heading through.
Yeah. So I'm not specifically in security, but I mean, the students that I lecture have a diverse range of interests, so yeah.
So I have a look through some of the article. The cybersecurity still has a gender diversity gap and a huge talent shortage, but the industry is making progress, albeit slowly. A recent study by Cybersecurity Ventures predicted that women in security will comprise 20% of the global workforce by the end of 2019. It's still a significant improvement on 2013 when women made up only 11% of the cyber workforce. Women are becoming more engaged in the security profession, but they're still lagging behind the overall technology industry, which is made up of 26%.
So I think that this is an interesting statistic because I thought that seems like a lot, but then you think, well, the phrase technology industry, the overall technology industry probably also covers not just technical jobs, but also the non-technical, like support jobs as well. So it's not like how much of that is actually technical. Yeah,
difficult to know really, isn't it? I suppose just thinking back some of the roles I've had, because I've had 10 years in the cybersecurity industry now. I think my first role was probably more diverse really. I still don't think it was 20% though. Then my second job, we only had one woman in the team and she was project management. So no one on the analyst side at all. And then same for my current job. Although we have one woman doing the risk analysis side, we also had a graduate with us, a female graduate. She actually joined our team for a bit. Because I think things are a bit different for you though, your job, Miss Quids.
Yes, so I remember when I was doing my degree at university, and I did a computer science degree, and I was one of about 5. And yeah, so there really weren't too many girls in my cohort, mostly guys. Now that I'm a lecturer myself, I'm definitely seeing some improvements to the number of girls. There are definitely more girls now coming into computer science, and the ones that are there are very, very engaged and very interested. So yeah, it's improving slowly.
I can't really think back from my education days. I never went to university. I just did college. I can't remember what it was like back then. Too many years. I'm too old, aren't I?
You're not old.
Oh, sometimes feel it. Our CIO has been really pushing to get more women to join the cybersecurity team. But in the last couple of jobs we've had advertised, we had 0 female applicants. So, we may discuss a bit more on that because it does talk about recruitment. The tech conferences are notorious for gender parity issues, including low participation among women professionals. In accordance with the conference theme of Better, RSAC made several motions to address inclusion at a 2019 event. Prior to the show, conference organiser Sandra Toms predicted it would attract 20% female attendance, or a projected 8,400 women in security according to last year's totals. In an interview, she expressed her excitement around this record-breaking number of female participants. It's nice to wait in line for a restroom.
Oh, I find this quite funny because at my university, on my whole floor, well, maybe in a different part of the building, but at least in my segment of the building, there is exactly one female toilet. I have to literally go to the floor below in order to find more than one toilet. And I find it funny because I'm thinking when they built the building and when they were putting the facilities in the building, it's like how many women were there at that point that they thought one one toilet would suffice. Because it does happen that people do queue outside that one toilet. But yeah, so it's good when you know the building better, and then you tend to find these hidden female toilets that other people don't know about.
No such issue in my office. It's just a 50-50 split. So doing things differently means committing to new agile models of working, including diversity of talent and thought. The most successful teams I've witnessed started by defining their North Star, knowing where they are and where they want to go, and communicating that with their entire organisation. So agile security teams include more voices that offer different perspectives to target the real weaknesses. I know that's diversity of people's backgrounds, not necessarily their gender or ethnicity. That's always been my opinion on the diversity there.
Yeah, I know in my university, and not just mine, but in other universities, there tends to be... Recently there has been events in order to attract girls into computer science, into studying computer science, and in being interested in, well, STEM subjects generally. So that's science, technology, engineering, and the M is usually either defined as maths or medicine. But there's also, in the UK, I think there's always been a push for things like people from lower socioeconomic backgrounds to go to university. So there's such a thing called the Sutton Trust, which puts on things like summer schools at Russell Group universities in order to encourage people who come from those backgrounds to go to university, and just people who tend to have been underrepresented, and people who tend to have been underrepresented at university in the past, or maybe they come from families who haven't gone to university, but they themselves are doing like really well at school, and so they want to push them to try and aim high and get into a good university to try and do that.
Yeah, I think there's similar things to that around the world.
Yeah.
The bottom line is that organisations need to achieve inclusive hiring practices to create diverse teams, and they must establish equitable work environments to retain women in security. So 50% of women in technology careers leave their jobs within 12 years, twice the rate of male tech professionals. So a few steps that could be taken. Creating gender-neutral job postings and tapping new talent pools. We know the university has done like flexible working.
Yes, and several men have taken advantage of that, actually. So it's not just the women that benefit from the flexible working thing. So yeah, several men are working in my department, are working part-time and part-time in other jobs outside of the university. So it's just a good thing all around.
Committing to equal pay and benefits in job offers.
So again, this is kind of different perspective here. In academia, we have a banded pay grading scale. So when I was hired in a particular band. So, I already knew approximately what my pay was going to be, and that's done on a national level. So there's kind of less negotiation. If there is negotiation, it would be within the pay band, and that would be a mixture of kind of experience and some negotiation as well, but a lot of it is kind of preset and predefined, and you can't do much about it.
Yeah, a lot of the public sector jobs are like that in the UK, on the banding scale for pay. My job is different though. We do have a grading scale, but it has no relation at all to pay. It's up to you to negotiate. Now onto a paragraph I thought was quite interesting, that women bear the brunt of cybersecurity's burnout problem. I was thinking more of the burnout problem really, not just a specific gendered issue, but...
I think maybe if there is a difference, then it's probably due to just women tending to have more of a role in raising the family generally, and tend to be more part-time, especially when it comes to, say, maternity or... just having small children. And it's probably just, one of the side effects of trying to juggle family life with work life, but then you'd find that with men as well. It's just not represented as much.
Perhaps, yeah. Yeah, we have more than half, or 57%, of cybersecurity professionals identify as burned out. 41% of security workers say crisis management is normal, and 20% have stress-related health problems. I think I identify as burned out recently, don't I?
Yeah.
I knew it's been quite busy in my job. It's just, well, the trouble is, as a defender, you have to win 100% of the time. As the attacker, they only have to win once. So yeah, you're going to be burned out defending a relentless onslaught of attackers. And yeah, it's been pretty bad for me lately. And I've been wanting to talk a bit more about some of this because we've had some amazing discoveries recently, because apparently it's not just the defenders who are burned out, it's the attackers as well, because they've made some spectacular mistakes recently. But are you burned out in your job?
Yes, I'm an academic, of course I am.
So yeah, not just a cybersecurity issue then, is it?
No.
The solution is to initiate a cultural change and create an environment that contributes to growth and self-care. I don't know, I think ultimately it's almost down to automation, and team sizes really is the answer. I know almost our workload has risen just massively since when I started. We've got more systems we're monitoring, but then again, our automation has got significantly better. So I think that could be much a software side and staffing side than anything else, really. So hiring and retaining diverse talent, including women in security, is imperative to a better and more secure future. Incremental progress is no longer acceptable. It's time for leaders and organisations to recognise gender parity and collaborate around workplace equity. I know there's very few industries that actually have a 50-50 split. I think it's accounting and something with pharmaceuticals. The company I worked at did a graduate scheme this year. They took in 2 graduates, 1 male, 1 female, and I don't know the exact story, but there was some contractual issue with the guy and he had to leave. So in fact we had 100% female intake in our graduate scheme of 1. Anyway, that was our thoughts on this article of women in cybersecurity, well, and part of the tech industry in general.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.
And I'll see you all later.